As you can see, today I'm in the woods in Cornwall, and I don't usually like detecting in woods because there's so much foliage and undergrowth to get through in most cases, apart from on the paths. But I'm here today for a very particular reason, and that is a while back, this was probably a few years ago, that a Roman hoard was found in these woods. Now my quest today is to see if I can find another one, because quite frequently when you find a Roman hoard or a hoard of any kind, there are usually other hoards close by. Why people did this I don't know. Maybe it was sort of ancient banking or something, put it all in one space. So hang on a minute and we'll go. Well, here is my first find, some kind of coin. Try and have a look on that. It's very hard to tell. I think it's very worn. Could be a Roman sestertius, but on the other hand it might not be. But we can't tell till I get it home, give it a good clean up. Usually you don't find very much on these tracks, but we found that first time out, so that's pretty good so far. So I'll try and find out what that is when I get it home and clean it up and let you know. Another target. Unfortunately this one we'll all recognise. It's a ring pool right here in the middle of the forest. Could be an ancient ring pool. It is a sort of goldy colour. Here we go again through the woods. The woods in this forest are mostly pine trees, but I think over in the direction that I'm going now I can see a few what look like oaks and softwoods, hardwoods should I say. Yeah, I thought it was a bit low on the detector scale, and guess what, here we have a beautiful piece of silver paper. Wonderful. There you go. People are always throwing things away, and unfortunately us detectorists have to find the rubbish as well as the good stuff. So I'm going to proceed into this wood a little bit further. I've had a signal a bit further up which I've marked, and what I've got with me today is a mattock. Well, you wouldn't probably use this, but it's absolutely excellent for digging where it's rocky underneath, because spades have a job of getting into the soil when there's rocks underneath. So nice mattock, give it a, and it can great for if you're on a meadow. It's great for scraping the clods, turfs off, and getting to the underneath without having to dig a massive great chunk out. What you can see is a little flag to mark the position of my recent find that I'm just going to check up on now, and it's in here. Quite often I like to put lots of toothbrushes in the ground and mark half a dozen targets before I even dig them. So unfortunately when you get very long grass you can't always see your toothbrush, and I've lost a few toothbrushes this way. So we're going to dig this one up. What does it say? Pull it up. Says it's 84. We shall see. Well, this was easy to find. It's the top of a broken bottle containing champagne. I doubt it. Anyway, broken. You see a bit of glass at the bottom. So someone's been in here with a bottle celebrating, and they left the top of the bottle broken here. So not very good, that one, eh? I'm coming to an area of woodland here where the trees change, and here you've got a mixture. You've got a few birch trees and larch and other trees, not so many pine trees. This area is obviously was once some kind of clearing, but I don't know why there's a little ridge coming up into this little bit of the forest. So worth a search round. It might be an old camp or something. Okay. Another piece of scrap. This is the flat end of a shotgun cartridge. So there are pheasants in these woods, so somebody's been out shooting them. Looks like a coin, but in fact it's the end of a shotgun cartridge. Some poor pheasant met his end, probably due to this. Another shotgun cartridge. Not much good here, is it? Bit of rubbish. I said there was a Roman hoard found in this wood, but it could have been anywhere. It didn't actually say the precise spot, of course, but there may have been some Roman activity. That first coin, was it a sestertius? No, probably not. I wouldn't be that lucky, would I? Anyway, I'm going to have a dig at this next one, which is under the trees here. You can see I've put a flag out for it. Proves you don't always find what you're looking for. This is some kind of button I've just dug up. Small one. Bit of rubbish, really. Not a good button. Never mind, we press on. Onward and upward. Yeah. Okay, we can see what looks like an old elm tree over here, so I'm going to go over and take a look, because it's different from all the other trees. It might prove there's something in here. Actually, it might be a beech tree, and you can see someone here, kids probably, have been rigged up a swing. Probably swung around here, had a good time probably. Right, we're having a good look around the wood here, and I'm going to start detecting right close to the tree. Well, not a lot to show for my endeavours today, so Rose Bay willow herb. Usually people call it fireweed, and that's because it was often found along the side of railway tracks where steam engines used to run. Right, this is a green part of the wood. We're going towards a fallen tree here. It's a lot greener than the other part of the woods. And what can we see here? Look, there's an old football down there. Somebody's football somehow has got kicked into the woods here. And as we look around here, we can see it's quite waterlogged. So I've got to be careful where I walk. And I think I'll head towards a little stream that seems to be in this wood. I don't know how firm the ground is underneath, but we shall see. We have this beautiful stream which seems to be travelling through the woods. There's a little pool here which may contain a few trout, I would think. A bit hard to see, but I think there's small trout in here. But, here we are, pouring away, gushing on its way down to the sea. There we are, can you see that? Looks like a ancient padlock of some kind, but it's got some markings on it around this escutcheon plate at the front. Some markings, so period, I don't know when they started making padlocks, but this one looks pretty old. It could be Georgian or Elizabethan. No, I don't think it'd be Elizabethan. Probably, I don't know, Victorian maybe, Victorian padlock, Victorian padlock. Very nice. We seem to have a signal here. But, what it is, I don't know. Kind of tough roots here. Well, I've got a reasonable signal there though. I don't know what this is in here, but gave a good signal. Oh, look, it's a piece of buckle. It's a buckle. Could be, I reckon that's Civil War. Possibly dropped by either the Roundheads or Cavaliers, but I think there was a bit of activity in this wood during the Civil War where people were going down to Pendennis Point to raid the castle. That was the parliamentarians, where the Cavaliers had their stronghold for the king, and And there were also other little places like Little Dennis and places along the Helford River where there were a few skirmishes. So this is a pretty good find. I reckon this is a Civil War buckle. Right, along by the side of the stream here. I don't know if there's anything we're having. I can hear somebody in the distance haunting their car horn by the sound of it. I don't know what it's for, but someone's kicking up a bit of a racket down there. The ground here is festooned with roots, but the sun's come out, so it makes it a nicer day today. Just come out. There's a signal down here. I don't know what it is. We'll have to dig it out, find it. I have to probe with my fingers at the minute because my little small probe is not working for the minute. Yeah, this is giving a very loud signal. Unfortunately you can't hear it because I've got the headphones on, but it's pretty loud, so what it is I don't know. But we shall have a look. I have to probe for it, I think, with my little fingers. Can't feel anything here. Oh, there's something here. Oh, what is it? Look. I found an iron. A miniature iron. Why would anybody lose a miniature iron? Maybe it's out of a Monopoly set or something like that. It's a very small iron. So I don't know what that was used for. Maybe it's a child's toy. Very nice find. And I must admit, towards the end of my trip here, finds are getting a bit better. At the beginning I was finding a lot of rubbish, but I wouldn't regard this as rubbish. It's a very nice, interesting little find. And there it is, my little flag that I like to stick up in so that I can go back to it if I find multiple signals, and I can put half a dozen flags out or toothbrushes, and then I can go back to them, so it stops me having to dig at each one until I've got at least 3 or 4 targets. Can't see it. There's a signal coming from around this area around here. Still can't see it. Oops, a daisy. There we are. It's a coin. Bit corroded, very corroded in fact. It's a George V. I recognise his head, but this is quite a corroded one. It's probably the acid in the soil down here by the stream bank. So George V, not bad. Things have got better as the day's gone on. I found a lot of rubbish at first, but now we've got a few good things, so I'll have to come back here on another day and see what I can find in this section of the wood, which I haven't really searched properly. Okay, that's all for now. I'll give you a view of the river, or stream, which is guggling away into the distance. So it's goodbye for the moment, and I shall be back with another video in a while.